Star Wars became a cultural phenomenon, and in doing so, established itself as an instant hallmark for entertainment, technology, and good old-fashioned fun.
The first things I saw were a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Anybody that knows me knows that my life was changed at that moment.
I went to the showing at the Academy with my young son, and of course when the film started, the shouting started, shrieking. I wondered, what's going on here? Well, they knew nothing about the picture. They responded to the images.
The adults were very puzzled, but the kids went ballistic. And within, I'd say, 2 or 3 minutes after that, the adults started following right along, sharing in what became the prevailing joy of that experience. It was a very heady screening.
I'll never forget that when the movie started and that first spaceship came over, I mean, I cheered, the audience cheered, and I thought, this is great. Then the spaceship that was chasing it came out, and it just kept going and going and going. And by the time that thing passed overhead, the audience was freaking out. I was freaking out, and I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Very shortly after that, Darth Vader made his first appearance. Now remember, this is the first showing on the first day that the movie was released. And Darth Vader showed up, and all of the people in the audience, including myself, started booing and hissing Darth Vader. Now, how did we know to do that?
Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive.
I was kind of stunned. I was depressed, actually. And I went back to the hotel, and I thought about it for 2 days, and I basically said to my producer, listen, I don't know what we're doing, but it's not really the kind of cinema I think I want to be doing. This guy's making Star Wars. I'm not even in the same universe. I'm not even in the same century. And so in a sense, it changed my whole direction. It turned me around 180 degrees as to what I felt I ought to be doing. And what's interesting is the next film I made was Alien.
We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life.
I was in the provinces, in the Midlands, in Warwickshire, and a member of the Royal Shakespeare Company. It certainly had an impact on the company because during the course of the, I suppose, 2 or 3 weeks that movie was showing, everyone went to see it, not once, but again and again. We were having an intense diet of Shakespeare and Star Wars.
You saw it once, you loved it, you had to bring a friend because you've said to the friend, this was important for your life. You brought your parents, and you saw it again and again. It was a social event, and it made community, just like classical cinema did.
It just isn't fair. Oh, Biggs is right. I'm never going to get out of here. Is there anything I might do to help?
No, not unless you can alter time, speed up the harvest, or teleport me off this rock.
There are very few pictures that were the kind of event and phenomena where you can go back and have that communal experience. It's not that Star Wars is the greatest picture of all time, it's that it had an effect on the culture that was seismic.
I can't hold off forever.
All right. Raymond, did you have a plan for getting out?
He's afraid, sweetheart.
Why did you...
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skin. Into the garbage chute, flyboy.
Because not only was it technically brilliant at the time, but the story was so great. I had a huge crush on Luke Skywalker, a huge crush on Han Solo, and I wanted to be Princess Leia because you had these two gorgeous men fighting over you.
What do you think of Han?
Trying not to, kid.
Good. It was everything we'd seen a bazillion times before, but done in an entirely new way, with a different spin on it. Sure, we'd seen that before, but not like this.
Look, your worshipfulness, let's get one thing straight. I take orders from just one person, me.
So wonder he's still alive. Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
We could believe in this alien world, this futuristic world, but there was a very appropriate element of irony mixed in with it too. And I remember it making me laugh a great deal.
You made a fair move. Screaming about it can't help you.
Let him have it. It's not wise to upset a Wookiee.
But, sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
It's a very innocent, open movie.
I suggest a new strategy, Artu. Let the Wookiee win.
It has all the philosophies and the thoughts of the characters, and there are concepts there. But basically, it's a simple story, magically told.
What should Artu and I do if we're discovered here?
Lock the door. And hope they don't have blasters.
That isn't very reassuring.
As soon as the movie was over, we both just agreed. It was one of those sort of non-communications. We just left the theater, Cheryl and I. Said, well, that was great. Didn't say a word, just went and got in line and stood in line for 2.5 hours and saw the movie again.
We need our diversions. It was an incredible diversion. It was kind of a rebirth for movies, too. As I remember, movies weren't all that wildly successful then. It took us back to the movies. It certainly was something you had to go see.
It became a blockbuster because of children seeing it 10 times. I thought it was a strange addiction. But there are things you can be addicted to that are much worse for you, of course. But they made this a phenomenon.
I think Star Wars was the film that really moved kids into outer space, public space, back to the theater, where you had to go out to the theater in order to really understand what was happening in culture.
We had a pirate, and we had a wizard, and we had a farm boy and a princess, and we had bickering robots, and I thought, what's not to like? This thing's going to be bigger than Planet of the Apes. That wasn't one of my predictions.
Yeah, I was shocked by the response. I did not expect it to be what it turned out to be. I mean, the biggest hit science fiction movie at that point was 2001, and I think it made like $24 million or something like that, and all the Planet of the Apes films and all those kinds of films had done about $16 million. And I expected the film to do, somewhere between $10 and $15 million. Instead it did, 300 and something.
Star Wars went on to receive Oscars for art direction, costume design, film editing, sound, music, and visual effects.
Actually, I was terribly disappointed in how it did. I'd expected something much bigger.
You don't think about lines around the block and all of that stuff. I mean, I was 19 years old.
Why don't you take a look around? You know what's about to happen, what they're up against. They could use a good pilot like you. You're turning your back on them.
What good's your reward if you ain't around to use it? Besides, attacking that battle station ain't my idea of courage. It's more like suicide.
In my mind, I was thinking of it as a kind of Saturday afternoon movie for kids, really, a kind of popcorn Buck Rogers show. Good, sound and light show for young people.
Use the Force, Luke.
Thinking that it would be successful, but never imagining that it would be the sort of worldwide, international success that it became.
I have you now.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
I would like to be taken back to that Saturday night at the Regal Cinema, Leamington Spa, 20 years ago, and have all of that same excitement and naivety and innocence reawakened. It's not a lot to ask, is it?
When we return, we'll see how the Star Wars sensation continued with The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.